Recording. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our weekly Facebook Lives. I am so delighted to see you all here, whether you are joining me live in the Zooms or live on the Facebooks or watching this recording some other time. Diane says, hi, Sam, you just make me smile. Oh, Pshaw, you make me smile just by being here, so I'm delighted. Let's take a breath, shall we? Let's center into this present moment, right? This is not an obligation. This is not another meeting. This is not something you do for anybody else. This is something you do for you. This is a moment for you to center in to your truest self, the you that maybe nobody else even knows, even the people who are closest to you. This is a moment for your heart to speak to you and give you your instructions, right? So letting your hands go really soft, let your belly go really soft, soften your judgments, soften those grudges that you're holding, that confusion that you're attached to, let it go. And let's, here, hold on, let me make a slight adjustment. Okay. Yeah, all that stuff that feels like it's sticky and hanging on to you, let's just free ourselves from it. Cast off all the burrs and sticky stuff. And let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that feels so nice. You know, I did a speaking gig a couple of weeks ago in downtown LA for a business group. And of course, I started with the breathing because I always start with the breathing. But, you know, these people don't know me. They're not you guys. They've never met me. They don't know who I am. And even though I said, you know, we're going to start with a little breathing just to center us in, you know, you can ignore it if you want. And I noticed there were definitely a couple people who were not doing it, and which is, again, totally fine. I don't actually care. But I was also a little like, really? Because it's breathing. It's the thing that you're doing just anyway. And then just putting a little intentionality behind it. You know, I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm not asking you to try anything weird. It's the thing that your body does automatically without you thinking about it. But I also get, you know, they needed to vibe me out and do what was comfortable for them, which is totally fine. But then I was thinking about how, like, oh, this is so much like a secret to success just anyway, is do what you're already doing naturally, but put a little more intentionality behind it. You know, figure out who you are and then be that on purpose. Figure out what you are better at than everybody else and do that on purpose and charge more for it. You know, figure out the people that you love to be around and be with them on purpose. Yeah. It's making me a little misty because we're moving. We're moving. The pod is coming tomorrow, August 30th. I'm out of California, which is just freaking me out. And you guys, just, this is authenticity and transparency time. I'm so not ready. Look at this mess. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Whoops, there goes my mic. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Everything will happen. It all happens. Why does it all happen? Why does it all happen? This is a pop quiz. Why does it all happen? Because there's a deadline. That's why. That's why. That's why we will be packed and ready to go by 8:20 tomorrow morning. Because the deadline is 8:20 tomorrow morning. Now, if they said, oh, we're coming sometime in the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks, would it get done by 8:20 tomorrow morning? No, it would not. No, it would not. So this simple magic, right? I hear from people all the time. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I can't decide. I don't know. I'm not sure, right? Raise your hand if this is you. Make a little note to yourself if this is you, because it's really easy to feel like, oh, I don't really do that. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You've got some ideas that have been tapping you on the shoulders forever. right? You've had little thoughts that scamper across your mind that say like, oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should try that. Gosh, I'd love to tackle this or that. And then you don't do it, right? So first of all, I'd like you to make a note right now for yourself. What is it that you would like, what are you feeling overwhelmed by? What are you not tackling because you feel so overwhelmed? What are you, every time you think about it, you think, oh my God, I don't even know where to start with that, right? Maybe, is it moving? Andy's Forest. Hi, Andy. Andy's asking me where I'm moving. I am moving to Lyme, Connecticut, where the disease is from, where the ticks live, to be closer to my family. So what's your thing? What have you been putting off? If you want to put it in the chat, I'd love to hear it. If you want to type it into the Facebook comments, I'd love to hear it. I can't see the Facebook comments right now because I'm on the Zooms, but I'll come back around and like you on the thing. Julie says, I got to sell this new town better. It is the most charming town in Connecticut. That's what it really is. My realtor even said, he's like, I love Lyme. He's like, it's like Connecticut before they ruined it. And it is, it's very old fashioned and charming and delightful. And I have private lake access. I get my own lake. When I was there last week, signing the papers and giving them all of the money, I got to swim in the lake and it was gorgeous and warm and beautiful. And in a couple of weeks, it's going to be incredible, right? It's going to be like New England picture postcard. Good. So, Andy says, when life gives you limes. That's funny, Andy. Very good. Diane says, updating a presentation that's due on the 30th and finishing a blog I started 4 weeks ago. Good. So pick one, Diane, pick one, because this is one of the ways we get overwhelmed, right? We start thinking about one thing we want to do, and then we start thinking about all the things we want to do, and then we get overwhelmed. So please pick one, the one that is either the easiest to complete or the one that has the highest return on investment. What's the one that if you do it, you will get more back from doing it? This is for the last 8 years, decluttering my basement. Right. Good. Julie says, to achieve great things, 2 things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. Exactly. Yeah, empty bookshelves. I know, it's trippy, isn't it? Laura says she's excited. Thank you, Laura. I'm excited too. Yeah, empty shelves. Exactly. Good. Hi, Leslie. Great to see you. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed anything critical in the chat. So complete your landing page. Fabulous. So just pick something that has been on your mind, maybe just today, maybe for 8 years, maybe for your entire life. And now set it aside for a second and let's think about the simple magic of a deadline. I know a lot of you are parents, and I'm sure you remember when your kids were little, like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to clean my room. I don't want to pick up my toys. I don't want to, and then you go, okay, whoever can pick up the most ties, and by the time I count to 10 wins a special, can get an extra 10 minutes on the iPad. Ready? Go. And sure enough, by the time you finish counting to 10, there's been a lot of cleanup happen, right? Who can get their boots on fastest? In 2 minutes, we're meeting at the door. I remember reading, I got asked to do a blurb for a productivity book a couple months ago, and this guy was really into just writing whenever he had a second. So while he was standing at the doorway waiting for his kids to get their boots on and their school stuff together, he would get out his phone and he would write a sentence or 2 for his book. I was like, way to use the found time, dude. But if you say that we're doing this at, this is happening at 2 o'clock, they're coming at 8:20, like all of a sudden your brain kicks into action. And I want you to notice this thing that we call overwhelm. First of all, overwhelm is something you do to you. It is not something the outside world does to you. It is something you do to you. You feel overwhelmed. You choose to feel overwhelmed. So you can choose to not feel overwhelmed. You have that power. It requires a certain amount of spiritual and mental discipline, but you guys are good at spiritual and mental discipline. You've become, evolved in a lot of ways. And this is another way where you can not just go into that collapse of, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't possibly, to go say, I am choosing to not be overwhelmed. I'm choosing to chunk this out. I am choosing to be gentle with myself. I am choosing to take action. And so overwhelm is a mental state that is cured by physical action. It is not a mental state that is cured by more mental action, right? You cannot fix the broken machine with the broken machine. So just like kids getting a countdown, certainly in the theater, opening night is miraculous. Ask anybody. 2 weeks before, 5 days before opening, it's a shit show. People are like, I don't think the show's going to work. This is never going to happen. That joke doesn't work. This is never, I don't know where that prop is. This cue has never happened. Like, where's my costume? Like, it's a zoo. And yet somehow opening night, it all comes together. How? It's a mystery. Just like they say in Shakespeare in Love, it's a mystery. But it's not a mystery. It's intense physical action focused on a deadline, right? Julie's reminding me that the Great Things quotation is Leonard Bernstein. Very good. There's a new film coming out about Leonard Bernstein with Bradley Cooper. I'm interested. Overwhelm is a mental state that is cured by physical action. Yeah, I know. I thought that was kind of pithy myself. I'm like, oh, that should go in the new book. That's good. Holidays, like we do better when we have these mental markers, because time isn't really time, right? Time is time's a lot of things. What do I want to say about time? When we can use the concept of time in our favor, it can be really, really powerful. That's what I want to say. And things like holidays, birthdays, like there are people that I only get together with on Thanksgiving, people that I only get together with on 4th of July, people that I only see at these conferences. When there is a deadline, I've been saying to my friends in LA who are all like, I can't believe you're leaving. I'm like, you're going to see me more. Because in LA, we're all like, yeah, we'll get together. Oh yeah, we should have lunch. Oh yeah, for sure. And now I'll be like, oh, I'm going to be back October 5th to the 15th. Who wants to have lunch? We'll see each other more, I promise. I also, as I was thinking about timing and deadlines and the magic, the beauty and magic of deadlines, I have a lot of friends who have been really well served by the practice of intermittent fasting. They love intermittent fasting. And I think part of the reason they love it and part of the reason it's so successful for them is because it involves a deadline. You're like, okay, I don't eat before noon. Done. I don't eat after 7. I don't eat before noon. Or I don't eat after midnight and I don't eat before noon. Like, just that simple rule of like letting your brain and body know, like, nope, not until this deadline. And then we move forward, or then we do this and stop doing that. Super easy, right? And especially when it's simple. It's the reason a lot of us really loved being at school, and the reason a lot of you stay in your corporate gigs or your jobs is because they give you deadlines. They tell you what to do and they tell you when to do it by. And that's a lot easier than entrepreneurship, where no one tells you what to do and no one tells you when to do it by, and you drown constantly in the number of things that you honestly should be doing, should have done yesterday, should have done 3 weeks ago, should have done 6 years ago. Like, it's never ending. And again, that spiritual and mental discipline of being able to say, this is what I'm tackling. This is what I'm going to do it by. Here we go. There's magic in that. That's how you can make things happen. And with your creative projects, right? With the projects that only matter to you, no one cares if your basement is decluttered except you. So it makes it really hard to make time for it, because we like to spend our time doing the things that other people appreciate about us, that get us credit and points with other people, that other people are going to notice. But self-care, appropriate self-care, means doing the things that matter only to you. And I believe that the mental cost of every time you walk past that basement door and you go, ugh, or every time you think about that presentation that's not done and you go, ugh, or every time you look at that blog post that's not done, that landing page, and you go, ugh, that ugh costs you. There is a price that's paid in that ugh. As opposed to, and you know this, when you walk past the pantry when it's organized, the landing page that's done, and you're like, oh, I know, ask me where my spices are. I know, because they're alphabetized. Do I have cumin? Oh, yes, I do, right here. Right next to the cinnamon. Actually next to the curry powder, but anyway. And I think those uhs have a mental and physical and spiritual up right? There's a bonus to that we underestimate at the beginning. We don't think like, well, it's not going to make that much difference. Again, who cares? I'm telling you, you care. 3 Uggs, I think, can ruin your day. 3 Uggs, I think, can brighten up everything, right? Let's see. Isabella says, I don't know about the overwhelm of being an entrepreneur, but I do know about the overwhelm of having no control as an employee. Right. That's the price you pay, right? Yeah. And I get it that there are a lot of things that are outside of your control. I urge you to exert control over that which you have control. And even if that's something you need to work out with your immediate supervisor or with your team, to be able to say, all right, look, we can't control the larger picture of this, but we can control these bits of it. We can make sure that the stuff that is within our reach, that our hands and feet can actually touch, that we can actually do, we can ensure that that happens on a reasonable schedule or in a timely manner, so that we are not running around crazed at the last minute, but rather have a peaceable, reasonable step forward. And we can feel the pleasure that comes from, oh, look, we hit that deadline. We set this deadline for ourselves. We hit this deadline. We set this, measurement for ourselves. We hit that measurement. Phew. Oh, right. Oh. Cami says, these are the hardest ones to justify to yourself. The ones that you do for yourself, of course. Lily says, it costs way more energy than the energy just to do it. You get energy when it's done. You lose energy when you don't, and just walk by it. Yep. Veronica says, empty surfaces bring me so much peace. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I know, right? That, look, room, space, delightful. Yeah. So here's the other part of the magic of a simple, immediate deadline, right? And moving from this mental overwhelm to physical action. Mental overwhelm, which is cured by physical action, is the 15-minute method, right? You've only heard me talk about this a bazillion times. Taking 15 minutes right now to make some small step on something that is important to you. I don't care if it's important to anybody else. I care that it's important to you, right? Is what happened. And I know a lot of people are feeling like, well, Sam, but 15 minutes isn't gonna do it for me. That's my project's so big. I'm not gonna make enough progress. It's not gonna help. Trust me, it will help. It will move it from the sort of ether banging around your head state into concrete action. Even if you're just sketching for 15 minutes or writing out notes or people you could contact, or, making a dream list of what it could be like for you to whatever. You spend 15 minutes pricing out basement organizers. How much does it cost to hire a professional organizer? Maybe they could come and, help you, because then you would have a deadline, right? But here's the other reason it works. Here's the magic part of why it works. When you spend even 15 minutes moving your little cog forward, right? Moving your little wheel forward, your mental wheels, your physical wheels. What you forget is you are a cog. There's other wheels that attach to your cog, including much bigger wheels spinning back here that you know nothing about. So you take what feels like a little action here in your own time and space, and it actually moves other things in the world. And you have had this experience, right? Where you take a little action, you do a little thing, and all of a sudden it's like, whoosh, the universe just opens up to you. I start thinking, I wonder if we want to move to Connecticut. And I start looking at houses, and then boom, boom, perfect house, boom, boom, mortgage, boom, 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 done. Like, how did that happen? Well, I didn't start thinking I need to buy the perfect house on Rogers Lake. I started out thinking, well, let's look into this. Let's take an action. Let's call the realtor. Let's go look at some houses. Let's talk to the mortgage guy. Let's 15 minutes, right? Yeah, Isabella's agreeing that she feels that way about her kitchen. She loves the open spaces. Gail says it puts a skip in your step. Exactly. I did a workshop with Susan Weed, and one of my big takeaways was her saying, when we make a commitment and honor it, we gather power. When we make a commitment and don't, we lose power. It's the same dynamic. Yeah, I have often said that, we build respect and esteem with other people by keeping our promises to them. We build self-respect and self-esteem by keeping our promises to ourselves. We build self-respect and self-esteem by keeping our promises to ourselves. And that's a really important metric of maturity, right? Because there are those of us who are very other focused. We're very motivated by what other people want of us. There's others of us that are very inner motivated. We don't really care what anybody else thinks. We really only care about our own metrics. Then there's those of you who are not motivated internally or externally. You're what the Happiness Project woman, I'm forgetting her name right now, likes to call a rebel. Or it doesn't matter who's asking you to do it. Your inner teenager is immediately like, nope, not gonna do it. Can't make me. No, you're not. Can't make me. And her suggestion for those people, and I think this is a good one, is to make it a character issue. You know, like, you don't have to do it. Here are the consequences of not doing it. And do you really want to be the person who says they want to write a book but then doesn't? Who says they want a clean basement but then doesn't do anything about it? Do you want to be that guy? Up to you. Let's see. Isabella says, it works. I taught myself a song in Italian, which I don't speak, in 15 minutes a day. Yeah. Ooh, say that again, Sam. Oh, about the self-respect and self-esteem? Yes. So we build esteem and respect with other people by keeping our promises to them. We build self-respect and self-esteem by keeping our promises to ourselves. And for those of us who have lived with chronically low self-esteem, this can be a really powerful exercise to even little promises, right? Even little ones. I promise myself I'm gonna, drink a cup of water before every Zoom meeting. Oh, look, I did that. I said I was going to do it and I did it. And now I had a better meeting because I was more hydrated and more awake. I promised myself I was going to go to bed before midnight and I did. I promised myself I wasn't going to bring my cell phone into the bedroom and I didn't. I feel this way. Get your cell phone out of the bedroom. Good. What other promises can you make to yourself and keep? Gretchen Rubin, thank you. Yes, Gretchen Rubin is the one who wrote Happiness Project. She's very good. My goodness, she's bright. Leslie's asking, off topic, yet of interest, how are your feline family members making the cross-country trip? So I am driving with I'm flying with the older kitty. Chester is the older kitty, and he and I are flying. JetBlue has a nonstop from LAX to Hartford. I got him a Thunder shirt. I got him some kitty downers. I'm hoping he's going to be okay. And Luke is driving with the two younger kitties because he's never made the cross-country drive. He grew up in the UK, right? And in the UK, you can drive cross-country, but it kind of all looks the same. I mean, not all of it, but it's a lot of just rolling green hills and sheep, which is beautiful. But you don't get the, American experience of the changing landscape. So he's going to have the whole sea to shining sea experience, and see the Grand Canyon and see the Badlands and all the things he's always wanted to see. And the younger kitties are very chill. They don't mind being in the car and they like being together. So it should be okay. And Motel 6 takes cats. So there you go. Noting the bits about the cogs. Yes, right. Not keeping that promise is self-abandonment. Yes. Julie says, I'm totally addicted to my 15 minutes every day, first day in the morning. I've learned that it's the difference between a great day and a not so good one. I have found the same thing. When I write every morning, the rest of my life just seems to sort of fall into place. And when I don't, it kind of all goes to crap. So there you go. Yeah, fly with Chester. I will, Julie. I'll give him my love. It's going to be pretty great, I think. I'm really excited. Yeah. Oh, so the cogs in the wheel thing. Timestamp 10:25. When you take small, limited actions right in front of you, you move from the mental overwhelm that is cured by physical action, right? So we start to take a little physical action, whether that's making a list, making a phone call, strategizing, sketching, drawing, moving the body, taking a walk, whatever it is, doing 20 sit-ups, whatever it is you want to be doing, that little tiny step. And it feels like this is a little tiny step. What good is 15 minutes of sit-ups going to do me? Well, when you take that little movement, you move the cogs of yourself a little bit. You got to remember, Your cogs are attached to much larger cogs, and there's wheels spinning way back there, much bigger ones that you don't know anything about. You take this little action, and all of a sudden, much bigger results can occur. Right? That's when that person calls you out of the blue. That's when that opportunity shows up out of nowhere. That's when you're standing in line and the person next to you goes, hey, did you know that, and you're like, oh my gosh, how did this information get delivered to me so magically? Because you made the little movements happen. So 15 minutes a day, every single day, before you check your email, spend 15 minutes on the projects that matters most to you. That's the 15-minute method. It's not complicated. It's not original to me, although I think I might trademark it. And I'm telling you, it's magic. And especially if you are feeling oppressed by overwhelm, get out of it. You have the power to get out of it. You have 100% of the power to get out of it. Overwhelm is a mental state that is cured by physical action. Let's see. Gail says, I love the cat travel plan. It's a beautiful country. So excited for Luke. I've traveled Chicago to Oregon many times. And when I moved with our 3 cats on kitty drugs to Oregon, everything we owned, towing in our car 29 years ago. Wow. Yeah, I moved here almost 30 years ago. It's a little weird. Julie says, I committed to writing 1,000 words every day or more and have done so every day when I did, except for 2 days when I didn't. And not only does it make my day better, but when inspiration comes, the poem or piece or idea pours through me because the faucet is on. Yeah, exactly. I had somebody reach out to me who's in the middle of a crisis, right? They're somebody in their family's having a health crisis and they're feeling like, oh my gosh, my writing project is completely derailed. I'm like, okay, sometimes emergencies happen, that's the way it goes sometimes. I said, but if you are feeling that urge to write, even in the midst of the emergency, go ahead and just make little notes on your phone. Like my guy who, did it while he was waiting for his kids to get dressed. Capture those little thoughts, those little ideas, those little half bits of things, put them in the notes on your phone or make a voice memo or send yourself an email, carry index cards, however you want to do it. But don't not be moving forward just because it seems like you can't move forward, right? Or you can't take giant leaps forward. Take a little leap forward, write down a couple of words, right? June, your memory is amazing. We are not doing the intro to Get It Done tonight. Thank you for remembering that. We're actually we pushed it out a couple of weeks. So we'll be doing it, is it September 15th? I don't have my calendar in front of me. It's somewhere right around there. Yeah. So stay tuned. We are still doing Get It Done this fall, but we because I'm moving, we decided that maybe trying to do the launch of Get It Done on the exact days that I was actually moving might not be so wise. So we shifted over a little bit. So what I want you to do right now, pick your project, pick the thing that's been bothering you, that you've been feeling overwhelmed by, give it a deadline today. What are you going to do today? What's the 15-minute action you can take today, and then do it? And if you're on this Facebook group, if you're on a private group, come back in and chime in and say, I did it. Because, one of the things that's hard about doing things that are just for you is that there's no one to go, yay, you did it. But this community will say, yay, you did it. I'll say, yay, you did it. Veronica will say, yay, you did it. We'll be excited for you and celebrate with you. And you want to take the action today because today is all we have. We don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So if it's important to you, it's important. Make it happen today. I'm going to reach out to 3 friends and ask their permission to quote them on my landing page. Yes. Yes. See if you can use their photo too. Photos are good. Photos are good. Fantastic, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I am always happy to be here with you every Thursday. I'll be coming to you next Thursday from Connecticut. So we'll see how that goes. And oh, look, seeing you inspire each other. The other Julie's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that too. See, this is what happens when we move from mental overwhelm. Oh, I don't know how to get testimonials to I'm going to call 3 people. And then somebody else is like, oh, I could call 3 people. And then we inspire each other. And then we make a better world, because you guys are the people who make this world a better place. You ready? Let's do one more breath to close out this circle. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you so much, Veronica. Thank you. Mwah. Love you all. Bye.